You know that luxury watch on your wrist? Well, it's way more than just a gorgeous status symbol. I want you to think of it like this. It's a real tangible asset, almost like a personal bank that holds and a lot of times actually grows in value. Today, we're going to dive into exactly how that timepiece can be a seriously powerful financial tool.
And look, this isn't just some nice idea or wishful thinking. The Boston Consulting Group actually did an analysis on this, and what they found is kind of staggering. The resale market for these premium watches is so strong that the top brands have been outperforming major stock market indexes. Yeah, like the S&P 500, the one that tracks the 500 biggest companies in the US. I mean, that just completely changes the game, right? This isn't just about a luxury item anymore. We're talking about a serious, legitimate investment. Okay, so what if you need a quick injection of cash? You've got this valuable thing literally ticking away on your wrist. How do you unlock that value without having to sell it and lose it forever? That is the big question, and that's exactly what we're going to answer right now. So when you need that cash, you've basically got two roads you can go down. You can sell your watch for good, or you can use it as collateral for a loan. Pawning it. And trust me, the results of that decision are completely different. Let's break down exactly what that looks like. Yeah, looking at them side by side really makes it clear. I mean, selling can take forever, right? And if you go the consignment route, those shops can take a crazy commission, sometimes as high as 50%. Pawning, though, that gets you cash almost instantly, and the fees are way lower. But here's the absolute key: ownership. When you pawn, you get the money you need, and when you pay back the loan, you get your watch back. It's a safe, secure way to handle a short-term cash problem without having to say goodbye to your asset forever. All right, so maybe you're thinking, okay, a loan sounds interesting. The next logical question is, how much is your watch actually worth? To a pawnbroker. It's not as simple as just looking up a price online. The experts have a specific checklist they go through to figure out its real collateral value. So let's pull back the curtain and see how they do it. It really boils down to a combination of five main things. First, they look at the current market value and just how hot your specific brand and model are. Then, of course, there's the condition. They're going to scrutinize everything from the movement inside to any little scratch on the outside. After that comes age and scarcity. Is it a limited edition, a super rare vintage piece? But honestly, one of the biggest factors, and one that people often forget about, is something called provenance. So what on earth is provenance? Think of it this way. It's your watch's resume. It's life story, all on paper. We're talking the original box, the bill of sale, every service paper, the certificates of authenticity. All that stuff creates a documented history that proves it's real and that it's yours. And having that paperwork, it dramatically boosts the value and how much you can borrow. It's really the difference between owning a nice watch and owning a fully documented high-value asset. Okay, so lots of watches can hold their value pretty well, but then there are the heavy hitters, the brands that are just on a whole nother level. These are the undisputed champions of the watch world, the names that are basically the safest, most bankable investments you could possibly wear on your wrist. First up, you knew it was coming, the icon itself, Rolex. The brand recognition is just off the charts, and its reputation for being basically bulletproof means it's like a global currency all on its own. Next, we have Patek Philippe. I mean, this is the absolute definition of prestige. They produce so few watches, and their mastery of those super complex complications is just legendary. That combination guarantees that people will always want one. And to round out what collectors call the Holy Trinity, we have Audemars Piguet. They're famous for these bold, totally game-changing designs. I mean, think of the Royal Oak. It's this incredible blend of high art and just mind-blowing engineering. And here's a perfect example of what happens when you combine a top brand with killer provenance. So a regular Rolex Daytona, that might set you back, around 11,000 pounds. Okay, but the one Rolex Daytona that was owned by the actor Paul Newman, that thing sold for over 15 million pounds at auction. I mean, come on, that is the insane power that a unique story, that provenance, brings to the table. Now, of course, it's not just about the big three. The world of high-value watches is bigger than that. You've got other blue-chip brands like Cartier, Omega, IWC, and A. Lange & Söhne. These are all incredible watchmakers with their own iconic models that people are dying to get their hands on, and they hold their value incredibly well too. Okay, so now that we know all this, let's get practical. How can you actively protect and maybe even boost the value of your own watch? Well, there are a few simple but absolutely critical rules to follow if you want to make sure you're getting the most out of your asset. Rule number 1, keep it in mint condition. That's kind of a no-brainer, right? But number 2, this one might actually surprise you. Never, ever polish it yourself. If you do it wrong, you can cause all this microscopic damage that serious collectors will spot, and it can literally tank the value. Third, and this is so important, save every single document that came with it. The box, the receipt, everything. And finally, number 4, get it serviced regularly. Just think of that watch as this incredible little engine on your wrist. And just like any engine, it needs a professional tune-up every 2 to 5 years to keep it in perfect working order.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that when you really understand its true value, a luxury watch completely transforms. It stops being just a cool accessory that tells you the time, and it becomes a tool that can, when you really need it, actually buy you time.
And that really just leaves one final thought. The next time you look down at your wrist, or maybe think about that watch you've got tucked away in a drawer, ask yourself this: what hidden value are you wearing?